Hi, Ari.
Hi, Adam.
How are you right now in this moment?
Yeah,
together?
in this moment, so happy to be here. I was just telling Adam about my weekend from hell that hopefully will be resolved. So I'm gonna just put it out there that hopefully they're gonna be able to. I might have lost like some files and stuff, so hopefully not though. Hopefully I'll be able to recover them. But yeah, I know. I'm like, please. How about you? You had a good weekend, but a relative of yours unfortunately did not.
I had a great
now.
weekend. Weekend's been fine. My mom has COVID, unfortunately, so I hope she's doing okay. I haven't texted her yet this morning, but she said that she had like the chills yesterday.
Oh, the chills are
worst.
the worst bit. I'm so sorry, Nan. I hope by the time you're listening to this, you are healed and back to full health. Because that is not fun.
Yeah, but the weekend's fine. We're recording a day later than usual, so this is like a little. I feel like I'm like a little off kilter, but well, Ari, this week we read chapter 14 called Felix Felicis. Ari, what happens in this chapter?
Ron. Well, hold on. Wait. What happens at the beginning of this again? Could there potentially be a little romance brewing between Hermione and Ron? Maybe. Did Harry help Ron to experience the placebo effect? Perhaps.
Yes. The sugar pill in your birth control set.
Yeah. And what's the last one? And Harry realizes he might have some feelings for someone.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know the eye roll. We're going to talk about it.
I have no problem with Harry's feelings for her, right? I think it's lovely.
Great. Yeah, there's a lot of issues with how a lot of these things.
A lot of his internal thoughts are the true worst. And I was also, like, this is the lowest point for you in this whole franchise, girl.
And also just like the way that things are written about how people are going about. And I'm just like, oh, wow. Again, we just talked about this in the last chapter that I was like, Joe, you give away so much about like the inner workings of your brain in these chapters.
It's a real peek behind the curtain for sure. Yeah. The wizard is behind the man behind the curtain for sure.
Yeah. And then Ron, the last thing I'll say is Ron has a little snog with who? Stay tuned to find out.
Stay tuned, we'll find out.
So chapter 14 opens with the trio. They have herbology first thing the next morning. So that's when they're like heading there. That's when Harry's kind of filling them in, or like at the start of herbology, they're kind of talking about it still. And Ron's like, ooh, that's scary to think about. Like little boy, you know who, which I thought it was so funny that he said little boy, you know who. Cause I was I'm only going to refer to him as that from now on.
He's grown up from baby Voldy, and now he's
he's little boy you know who. And so Ron and Harry are like kind of agreeing that they're like, yeah, it's a little random. Like, I don't really know what this has to do with anything, but yeah. And Harry's like, yeah, he says like this will help me survive, basically. So I don't know. And Hermione's like, I think it's amazing. Like, it's fascinating. Of course, you should be learning all this stuff about Voldemort. Like, how else are you going to know his weaknesses? And again, Hermione just always is the one that says
the nail
like,
on the head.
Yes. Yeah. Like, I'm like, she's the one that is speaking whatever is going to happen. It's very rarely that she isn't like correct about.
Yeah.
So Hermione and Ron are kind of talking about the slug clubs, or I'm sorry, and Harry, all three of them are talking about like slug club stuff. Hermione's like, oh, they're actually pretty fun. However, he does like fawn over McLaggen a lot, which is kind of annoying. But they were introduced to the Gwenog Jones.
The one and only.
Yeah, Ron's like, I'm sorry, the Gwenog Jones of the Holy-Headed Harpies. Is she the captain? I think that's who she is, right?
Sure.
Adam's like, sports. I don't know.
Who cares?
Um,
Did she fly in? Did she? They allow
where?
visitors?
She used the Flu Network in the way that we want it to be used, to just pop by and leave.
Ever come to Hogwarts during the school year is like ministry business. They've never had anyone come, and it's like not
it's like a visit,
right? So it's weird that it's like, and we have a guest lecturer today.
Yeah, a special guest, celebrity,
a masterclass with.
Yeah, exactly. So then Ron's like, oh wow, like that's cool. And then Hermione's like, yeah, I actually thought she was a bit full of herself. And I was like, right away, I was like, why does she do this? Why does she want to do this?
We don't even know. We don't know anything about the woman. We know nothing about the character. She's inconsequential in 11,000 ways to this plot. And yet...
But Hermione hates her, thinks she's full of herself. It's just like a young girl meeting a woman, and it's a negative interaction again. And I'm just like, why does she want to do this? Why does she always make there be these little like petty exchanges whenever Hermione has like, I don't know.
I'm trying to figure out if it's like Hermione because she dislikes or she doesn't care about Quidditch. That like she was like trying to figure out a way because she... In Joe's head, Ron's reaction is like, wow, that's so cool. So Hermione should have the opposite reaction. But like, what do you justify that with? But like, this isn't a good justification. I don't know. Is it
because Ron is interested in her? Because she's a woman and Ron's interested in her? So then Hermione's like,
oh God, please let it not be that.
Because that's what I was like,
I didn't even think of that, Ari.
This is what I'm saying. It's just constant. It's like constant pettiness. And I'm like, I understand Hermione is a teenager. Yeah. I still don't think that is like, I'm trying to think of like people that if like my boyfriend thought someone was like pretty, I probably would have been like a little insecure about it. Like someone that was older, like a celebrity or someone. But I would have been like, yeah, she's pretty. I don't know. He's not going to date her, Hermione. Like it just was weird. So I don't know why she
hasn't even kissed anybody at this point in
as
this
we find
chapter.
out. Yeah, I just didn't like it. I was like,
I didn't even catch it. I just was like, okay. Because now as soon as it's like we get into the Ron and Hermione of it all, I'm like, oh God.
Yeah, it's like, please stop. And that's why I think because we get into it so much in this chapter, that's why I had the idea that I was like, is it because it's like it's woman thematic that Ron's interested in, like the Madame Rosmerta bullshit. It's the same thing.
It is.
It's just it's every time. And I'm like, I don't think it's like that every time. It's different. Like the lavender thing, that's different. Okay. Sorry to skip ahead, but like, that's different. There actually is like something happening.
Yeah.
So I'm like, fine, valid, whatever. But when it's like an adult woman or like a celebrity woman, I'm just like, why? Why are you doing that? I don't know. It's just petty to be petty, and I don't like it.
Yeah. Well, and like Joe chose the Quidditch player that would come talk.
Yeah.
It could have been a male player, like anyone.
Yeah.
But then it would have been the same thing because she just think that that's like an interesting part of their dynamic right now is like the jealousy thing. So even if it was, and Hermione was like, I thought he was really interesting, Ron would have been like, I don't think he's that cool or blah, blah, blah. It's like.
I would almost take like, I'm rewatching Heartstopper right now since RJ and I are working on these like the BLGL stuff. And I would almost rather it be like a Tau L situation, how it's like so clearly they like each other, but it's like kind of awkward. Like I'm like, you could do it with awkward moments. Like that's what they did more in the.
I love L.
Yeah, I know, I love L too. So beautiful.
I think she's my favorite character.
I know she's such a good character, and I like Tau. How Tau changes with her.
He's definitely developed a lot as a character, which is great. Yeah,
she brings out the best in him.
I hate his hair, but. It's fine.
No, they cut it in season 2.
Yeah.
It's better.
That's season 1. Like
I know. When I've been watching it, I'm like, God, why did they do that to him? This poor kid.
Because it's like, that's, I think, how he looks in the comic or whatever. But like, I don't care.
Oh, really? Oh, he
Yeah.
has like swoopies. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. That makes sense. Oh, you know what? I have it. I have the volume 1. I should look in that. I don't think I've ever actually gone through the full thing. But anyway, so yeah, that just pissed me off. I was like, I didn't need that. And Pepperoni didn't need it either, Adam, because you know who comes over and tells them to shut up? Our girl Pepperoni. She was like, no. Yeah. She was like, get it together. First off, everyone is ahead of you. What are you guys even talking about?
Neville's
she
done.
Heard that. Yeah. She was like, Neville's on, what'd she say, his second pot or something like that? She was like, yeah, she heard that negativity, that pettiness, and she was like, girl, women supporting women. Women loving women only in this greenhouse. Okay. Literally.
Women and women first, the bookstore. Yeah.
I love that. Oh my God. I didn't even realize that she interrupted them when Hermione was saying that. That's like even better. Pepperoni is like our girl. Like anytime we're pissed off, I feel like Pepperoni has the best bits. Anyways. So Hermione mentions that there is a Slughorn Christmas party coming up, and Ron's like, oh, only for like the Slug Club again, huh? And Hermione's like, yeah, also I didn't pick that name, so I don't know why you're like pissed at me about it. And then he's like, well, have fun. Maybe you can link up with McLaggen and you can be King and Queen Slug. And then Hermione's like, I was actually going to ask you. And Ron's like, oh.
And then they like, and then it's like not even like a fight. Then it's like, oh, wow.
And she's like, but if you'd rather I'd hook up with McLaggen. And he's like, no, I wouldn't. That's what he says. And I was like, oh my God. But this is what I mean, though. You could have a moment like this.
Yeah.
You can have stuff like this, and it's not like super obnoxious and all like jealousy. Like it's a moment where he's like, oh no, I don't want you to go with him. So Harry is like hilariously.
Honestly, I think the way she should have written it is just that all of a sudden they're together and Harry is such a main character energy that he'd be like, when did this happen? And they're like,
yeah.
It's like in a movie where they're like flashback to all these things and like Harry's just off to the side, like thinking about his own life, not caring about anybody else. And they're like, yeah, we went on like 6 dates together.
Yeah. Like, yeah, you're oblivious.
We went to the Muggle movies. Like, what are you talking about?
Yeah. So Harry's like being so immature, and he's like vigorously trying to like look really busy, like where you're like, oh my God, that is so interesting. Wow, let me just look at this. Actually, I'm just gonna completely absorb myself in like it's just like
wait, we did this same bit recently, RJ and I, because on a show we recapped, there's 2 girls on Island 2 who were like kind of fighting, and one says like the other, one's trying to get the girl's attention and she clearly ignores her. Like it's in like a really I'm an actor. I can tell when someone is like performing.
Being performative.
Yes. And so she goes like, June, and June stands there and
like,
she's talking to someone else, and you see it, like she hears it. She doesn't like react or anything. But if you're looking for it, you know, she's like, like to the person she's actually talking to. And I was like, girl. And then she tried to be like,
girl, we know.
I didn't hear you. I didn't know. I didn't hear you. And then they do the like lie detector thing later and they find out she lied. And she was like, I really thought I didn't hear you. I didn't know.
Oh my gosh.
It was great.
Yeah. So again, Harry's doing this bit of like, oh, I'm so busy with something. Oh my God. Wow. This is really occupying all of my focus. And then like eventually they kind of realize that he's there. I think like because he makes a loud sound, the pot like breaks and then he repairs it. And then they're like kind of aware that he's there.
Yeah.
And then Harry, like, we kind of go through Harry's little inner monologue where he's like, I guess he isn't surprised that this is happening because he thought maybe it would come to this, but then he is a little bit worried about like seeing their dynamic change because he's like, after like we're all friends, so what if it's like they end up having a falling out and then like they won't talk to each other, like how him and Cho don't talk to each other,
right?
Or if they're like all over each other like Bill and Fleur, and then it's like awkward for him to be around them because they're all over each other, which I was like, okay, to this point, I think that's fair that he's just kind of like, is this going to be like a
what
weird
does this
dynamic
mean for our friendship dynamic?
Yes. And I just want to say this because I'm not going to be on Harry's side in the future. So I want to say these thoughts I think are fine.
These thoughts are normal. These thoughts are expected. I think they make sense, especially for being high schoolers. Like, if we were
you just don't
adults,
know.
I would be like, well, we're all adults. So
and
I
we
think
all live in separate areas.
Yeah.
We're not
fine.
like together 24/7.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So yeah, he's just kind of thinking about it. He does observe Ron and Hermione rather closely over like the next couple days. But nothing really changes except they're just like a little bit more polite to each other. So Katie Bell is going to be staying in St. Mungo's for like an extended amount of time. There's like no word on her coming back. So he's like, oh, I have to fill her spot, don't I? I do. So he doesn't want to have another whole like tryout situation again because it was a mess last time. So he's like, he ends up asking Dean Thomas to join the team just directly at the end of a class. And then Seamus is very upset by this. Was Seamus at the tryouts? Was it mentioned that Seamus was at the tryouts?
It was not mentioned, no.
Because it was such a big thing that I was like, did she genuinely think she mentioned Seamus and Dean trying out? And she didn't? I can't even remember if Dean was there, to be honest.
I don't remember if Dean was there either now that I think about it. But I definitely know Seamus was not mentioned.
Definitely no, Seamus was not mentioned. So that was so weird because it was just like so confidently.
She just said like there were like 50 people who were trying out. And so obviously like sure, but like I feel
we
like
know
you would
them.
mention the people we know.
Yes. They're like in his dormitory.
Yes.
So that really, I was very confused by that. I was like, he's mad about this? Did he even try out? So then apparently Seamus isn't the only one that is upset about this. Multiple people or many people are like whispering about how Harry's now chosen like two of his close friends for the team.
They say he's chosen two of his classmates is how it's phrased.
Classmates.
And I was like,
okay.
And I was like, I mean, they all go to the same school. They're all
You're all.
I understand what they mean, but like,
yeah.
Isn't it crazy he chose Gryffindors for the Griffin?
Yeah, I know. Isn't it crazy?
A little like, well, there's only 12 people that are, I don't know, whatever.
Yeah.
Half of the people that showed up were from other houses for that fucking
tryout. What did you expect? Yeah.
What?
So Dean ends up doing great at practice though. So he's like, well, if people are going to be saying shit, they're going to be proven wrong at this next game. Ron, on the other hand, not so great. He actually ends up punching Demelza in the face and giving her a nosebleed. And then Ginny is like very upset with Ron and insults him. And Harry's like, you can't insult him like that. And she's like, well, you were pretty busy, so I'm gonna handle the insults.
I want to say one thing about Ron punching Demelza.
Yeah. How?
Joe Rowling wrote this. A person who has recently been on a tirade about
yes, yeah, about what is it, boxing? Yeah,
and that's all I want to say. Because it pisses me off so much.
Yeah. Wow, I did not even think about that. Yeah, you're right. So Harry's like trying to encourage Ron all the way back to the common room. It does seem to work. Like Ron does seem to be feeling a little bit better as they're like almost back. But then they come around a corner only to see Ginny and Dean like vigorously, I say making out, they say snogging.
Snogging has to be one of the worst British words. Like
snogging.
What is I'm looking up the etymology of snogging because what?
Have a snog. I don't know.
Etymology. 1940s of unknown origin. Well, that's not fucking helpful. Of unknown origin. Said to have originated in British India. Interesting. I hate the term snogging. I hate it.
I know. It's a gross word.
I hate it.
It's yucky.
There's nothing. It's like the equivalent of like the kind of American 80s sucking face. Like that is like, and it's like, ugh, why? It's
why
just people
either of
kissing.
those? Yeah, just kissing, making out, whatever.
Who cares?
So they're making out. Harry feels what Joe describes as a monster in his chest. Ron yells at them and they break apart. Harry, like, literally, what she's describing is literally like a trauma response that he's like tunnel vision about you can't hear, everything sounds like you're in a tunnel, whatever. Like, I was like, this is all right. I mean, I understand
he's experiencing jealousy.
Yeah, I understand when you see someone you like kissing someone else, it doesn't feel good. I'm not trying to make it can't. You can't
it's
have
a very natural
an
response.
Anxious reaction. But I was like,
I'm waiting. There's one part of this that I'm waiting for you to get to.
Yeah.
And then we're probably going to spend the next 45 minutes.
I know.
Because it made me so. Okay, John, I'll wait.
Yeah. So Ron yells at them and then they break apart. Ginny doesn't back down. And I was like, my girl, Ginny, correct. You have nothing to apologize for. And you don't have to be ashamed of anything that you just did. Dean, on the other hand, is kind of like, and like gives like a shifty grin to Harry. But Harry's also like mad at Dean. Mm-hmm. So Ginny dismisses Dean, who like happily runs off. But then she like gives it to Ron. Again, totally on Ginny's side here. Mm-hmm. She's like, it's none of your business who I date and what I do with them. And I was like, agreed.
Correct.
Like, none of your business, Ron. Mm-hmm. And then Ron's like, do you think I want people saying my sister is a...
Here we go.
Cuts off.
Here we go.
Mm-hmm. Ginny says, like a
what?
Is a what?
Uh-huh.
Again, on Ginny's side. And then Harry says... Ron didn't mean anything by it, but the monster inside his chest is like
agreeing with
Ron. I'm sorry. Harry? So you are misogynistic is what you're telling me.
The only thing that would make sense is that they are insinuating the end of that sentence would be that she's a slut, probably.
Yeah.
Or like a variation of that term.
A hoe. Yeah, whatever.
Making out with your boyfriend is not what sluts do. That's just well, first
literally
of all,
being a human.
But like being in a relationship with someone and then having physical connection with that person is not sex work. I mean, I not even to like get into the like weeds about it, but it's like she wouldn't even be labeled a slut anyway because it's her boyfriend. If it was like 6 guys every other day, sure, we may have that conversation. But like, this is not the situation that we currently find ourselves in. She's with the guy she's been dating for literal months now.
But also, it's just the juxtaposition of slut shaming a girl and going off of like the count, a body count, where a guy, it's seen as a positive thing. So it's like, even if it was like 6 guys.
Totally.
It doesn't matter, Ron. Fuck off. Like, because if you were making out with 6 girls, you would be like the man.
Sure.
So yeah, and I'm always against slut shaming. There's just no reason. Whatever a woman does when it comes to intimacy and with who is no one's business. It doesn't matter. The fact that Harry
why did she? It's the specific line of being like, even though the monster agreed with Ron's words. And I'm like, but you
shouldn't. Yeah.
I understand that he is frustrated because he's realizing he's jealous because he has feelings for her that he didn't, realize he had. Whatever, who cares? But like,
no, I know.
You don't have to write it. You didn't have to write that. You just didn't. It was a literal choice. It was a choice to write.
And again, it's like, it's the whole idea of like, oh, you would slut shame a woman because you like her and you're mad that she's doing what you want to do with her with someone else. Like, that is so fucked because people do that all the time. Men do that. I think it's getting better, but like, that was a huge thing, that it would be like slut shaming would just come about because guys felt entitled to say shit like that about a girl because she was doing it with someone else and not them.
Yeah. It's
being reminded of several times in high school specifically, not
Yes.
with just me, but like with my friends that would get slut shamed because of shit like that.
Yeah.
And I'm like, it was so
Even if,
clear they
like-
were just saying that because they were jealous.
Even if, like, let's say let's give her the benefit of the doubt and be like, well, she's still writing from a boy's perspective, so she's trying to write it like a little bit like that. There's still no like lesson. Like, they don't walk away from this entire thing and be like, oh, I shouldn't have done that, or like, there's no way for the audience to glean like Ginny was right. Like,
thank you,
because you're
that
interiorly in Harry's head. And you see the book through his eyes. You're like, well, Harry's right in this. Like, he's not right.
I know.
And it's okay that he's not right. And there is like, you are a teenager and you are learning these things. And like, I'm not expecting Harry to be a perfect, unflawed character. But there is a way you could have written this.
Yeah.
Where like, I don't know, just like they have a moment of realization or something.
We get more of the nuances when he's going through it with like how he has having these feelings for her, thinking about kissing her, but then also feeling bad because like she's Ron's sister, and would Ron be upset with him? And is he betraying his friend?
Right.
Because
I think that's all very interesting.
Yeah, that is like a good example of how it's like he's going through it. So there could have been a way for her to kind of have that nuance in a moment like that, where it's like, but she doesn't.
No. And I think the worst part is like, it doesn't end, like the scene is it doesn't end great, but then the chapter, it doesn't the same thing happens. Ron ends up making out with someone who he's not in a relationship with. And there's no, the idea of like Ron being promiscuous, or even like, I mean, at least it's not like Lavender's being, at least like Hermione's.
Yeah,
not like,
they don't, right. They don't blame it on
Thank
her.
God.
Yeah.
But like,
that's good.
There's not, that could have been a chance for Harry. I don't even know if he would, but like for someone to be like, isn't that the same thing Ginny just did with Dean that you were like mad about? Like something just to like put it into the reader's perspective, being like, oh, I didn't think of that.
Yeah. Yeah. Cause Ginny's the only one that's like, oh, a hypocrite, but she's like being kind of like lighthearted about it.
Yeah. It's so annoying.
Yeah, it was bad. I was like, again, revealing too much about you as the author. So yeah, I didn't like that bit at all. I'm glad you also were like, what the fuck?
I stopped and I read it out loud to RJ because I was like, listen to this.
Yeah, what did RJ say?
He was like, oh. He was like watching wrestling at the same time.
Oh, okay. So Ginny's like, again, fully on Ginny's side. She's like, just because the best kiss you've ever gotten is from our Auntie Muriel doesn't mean you got to be hating on me.
Yeah.
She also is like, Harry snogged Cho, Hermione snogged Crumb. You're the only person that has a snog someone, Ron. So
yeah.
And at this point,
you feel left out of this slug club, more like snog club.
Yeah. The snog club. He's left out.
Sorry. Not the only club you're not invited to.
Yeah, exactly. No one wants to kiss you, okay? So at this point, Harry's literally holding him up against a wall. Like he's like pinned him to the wall to stop him from getting to Ginny, which is another, like, I'm like, what is he going to do? Hit her? Like, there's violence. You're writing these like violent scenes.
It's so bizarre.
Anyway, Ron also makes a girl cry, the same girl that he punched in the face. He makes her like cry in this book as well. So I'm like, wow, you're really making Ron like
it's so bizarre.
This terrible guy in this chapter. So Ginny rushes off. Harry's like kind of going through it internally, thinking through all this stuff. Ron is kind of quiet, but then he like mentions the whole bit of, do you think Hermione and Victor Crumb really did snog? And Harry's like,
of course they.
Yeah, I know, duh. But Harry's like, Harry like doesn't know what to say, so he's just kind of like, him. But yeah, he's just going through it. He's thinking, he's like imagining himself in that deserted hallway with Ginny. Then he's like, no, I'm just having like brotherly feelings, which I was like, okay, first off, no, you're not. There's no way you're going to try and convince yourself you feel like an older brother to her. There's no way.
Also, don't make it weird, bro.
Yeah.
Don't make it even
exactly.
weirder.
And then he's like, it's normal that I would be protective of her. It's normal. But then he's also like, shoot, what would Ron say if he knew I was like having these thoughts about Ginny? That's not great.
I think that is like actually the real thing that's interesting is like you fall in love with like you have a crush on your best friend's like sibling.
Sister. Yeah. And like little sister.
How
like,
do you navigate that?
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
I think that is genuinely interesting.
Yes.
Everything else.
Yeah.
Bye. Bye,
I think
girl.
that's, I mean, I feel like all of that makes sense. And the whole thing earlier of what he going through it with like Hermione and Ron possibly getting together. So that's why it's just so shitty that he has that thought about Ginny that isn't nuanced at all.
Nope.
I'm like, dude, okay. Because what is it? Sometimes it happens with like, I mean, I say it jokingly where like if you see someone getting to do something with like an idol that you like, and I'll always be like, oh, I'm so jealous. But I'm like, I'm not actually like, how dare they do that with some, like, I'm just like, oh, I wish I was like that girl in that moment.
Do you know the meme that's like the guy, it's the picture of the guy who's like, I don't care that something good happened to you. It should have happened to me instead.
Yeah. It should have happened to me. So Ron is just completely rude, like a complete asshole to Hermione the whole next day. He's terrible at practice the next day.
And like, it's because of this like the revelation that she may have kissed Victor Crumb 2 years ago.
Yeah. Are you a child? The answer is yes. How old are you?
And I kind of hate that Harry doesn't say to Hermione, oh, it's because blah, 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 blah. Like,
I know.
Just be a friend to her. Just be like, hey, this is why he's being weird.
This is what I mean.
Would it help? Probably not. But at least you would have context for why the fuck all of a sudden Ron's being an asshole.
Yeah. This is a perfect example, though, of how like men enable other men's bad behavior. And I know that's not what she was trying to do, first off. So I'm not going to give her the credit for that. But this is a perfect example where, he could be a friend to Hermione and explain, because Ron is being an absolute dickhead. Like, he doesn't deserve any like protection from Harry with any of this. So this is when I say I'm so glad that Hermione has Ginny and like they become friends. It's just because Ginny and Hermione are like actually like aware and empathetic and like on the same page. These boys do not have it. Neither of them. We're supposed to see it as like Harry has a little bit more than Ron, but I don't even think it's like 1 centimeter more than Ron. Like I would give Harry maybe an inch, and that's about it. So Ron is also bad at practice. He reduces Demelza. It's the same girl again, which made me upset too. Demelza to tears because he's like taking out his shit on everyone else. Yeah. And then Sweet Peaks, the beater, is like, you leave her alone. And I was like, Harry, this kid said what you couldn't to like your actual best friend.
This is why I don't even think he should have been Quidditch captain, to be honest. Like,
yeah, you gotta know, you gotta handle this shit better.
You have to be able to like handle your friend. Sorry, you have to be willing to be the bad guy.
Yeah, and also he like he tells Demelza like he's like, pull yourself together. You played really well today, which I was like, also not a good way to handle that. Like, be like, are you okay? Are you all right? Like, I don't know. And then he just kind of sends Peaks off. And then he does to Ron. He's like, if you keep treating them like this, I'm going to kick you off the team. But I'm like, still, it took you like a whole practice to say that to him. So Harry's like trying to figure out what to do about this situation. He definitely wants to win the match, but like he doesn't know what to do to kind of help Ron. So the next morning when they're sitting down for breakfast, Harry's like very intentionally like giving Ron this pumpkin juice and kind of making like a show out of it. And then Hermione's like, Ron, don't drink that. I just saw Harry pour something in that. Harry, I just saw you. You poured something. Yeah.
I spy with my little eye something poured in that goblet.
Yeah. And then Ron's like, oh, stop bossing, like chugs it and is like, stop bossing me around. And Harry's like, put the little bottle, whatever it was, back in his pocket.
I think I would hate Ron Weasley if I went to
Yeah, we would not be friends with Ron. I would 100% be on Ginny's.
I do not think I would be friends with Ron.
No, I would be friends with Ginny and Hermione. I would have to call out Hermione when she gets all petty with women.
Yeah.
But I'd be friends with Ginny and I'd be like, your brother's a dickhead.
Yeah.
And you can do better than Harry, girl, is probably what I'd say. I'd be like,
T.
No. Yeah.
Stay with Dean. Why doesn't it work out?
Yeah, I like Dean. I know it doesn't work out. I can't remember if it's a bad reason though, so maybe not. But right now I like Dean. So yeah, Harry puts this little bottle back in his pocket. Ron's like, just chugged the pumpkin juice. Hermione's like, you could be expelled for that, Harry. And Harry's like, I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know what you're referring to. So they're walking down to the changing rooms. Harry's like, oh, lucky the weather is so good, huh?
Hey, buddy boy.
Hey, buddy boy. And Ron's like still not looking great. Harry notices he still looks like sickly. When they get in the changing room, Ginny tells them that one of the chasers won't be able to play because he took a bludger to the head. And Malfoy is also ill, or it's like said he's ill.
He's called out of the game.
Yes. So he's been replaced with Harper, a player called Harper.
Sure.
So
Harper Lee.
Harry's like, who's Harper Lee?
She wrote To Kill a Mockingbird.
Oh. So Harry's like, this is interesting. Because of course it's something with Draco. So he latches on to this situation with Draco and he's like, this is very fishy, isn't it? And then Ron's like,
I roll my eyes even though Harry is right, but it's like
I
annoying.
know. It's just because he latches onto things. Yeah. So Ron's like, I'd actually say it's lucky. And then he's like,
wait a minute.
Hey.
Did you?
Hey. My pumpkin juice. My pumpkin juice? You didn't? Did you put something? Did you put? Yeah. Did you put something in my pumpkin juice? That's so funny. That's such a funny sound. So Harry's like, I don't know. Same thing with Hermione. Basically, he's like, I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know. And then he's like, well, you better get ready. You better just
it's time to
get
go.
ready. Let's go. Yeah, let's get ready to play this.
Because Ron has agreed that he's going to play one more game because he doesn't have time to find a new keeper. And
I forgot to mention that.
If he doesn't do well, if he's the reason they lose the game today, he's quitting the team on his own. So Harry doesn't even have to worry about it.
Yes, thank you. I forgot to mention that. So they're heading out. Harry shakes hands with the new Slytherin captain. They kick off from the ground and the match has begun. So Harry, obviously being the seeker, is immediately looking for the snitch. There's a new commentator. Luna has been replaced.
Yeah.
It's none other than Zacharias Smith.
Who's on the Hufflepuff team? Or on the Ravenclaw team?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I guess who's going to be is it going to be Luna again when he plays? Maybe
that's what I was saying. I was like, why would you have to? You can't.
Wait.
You can't be an MC.
Wait, is Zacharias Smith? I think you're thinking of Michael Corner. How do you spell Zacharias? Did I not spell Zacharias right?
Zacharias.
Oh, okay. I did IUS. Zacharias. Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah,
Harry recognized Zacharias Smith, a Hufflepuff player whom he heartily disliked.
Okay, yeah. So they call him a Hufflepuff player. Why did I think he was in Ravenclaw? First off, that's weird.
I don't know. I thought he was too. Weird.
Hold on. Wait, is that incorrect then?
So.
Oh yeah, he's like in the final movies and everything. There is a person that plays him.
But like, why would you let someone MC who's on a team?
Yeah, because you're just going to have to get someone else.
Don't you want a full-time MC?
Yeah, I know. That's weird. That's really weird. I forgot he was on the team completely. That's very strange.
I only noticed it because that's one I was like, why? Why would you let him do this?
Yeah. So Zacharias is commenting on how the Weasleys are just on the team because they're friends with Harry. And Harry's like, well, they're both doing really well, so shut up, basically. Which he ends up like not continuing to say that. He ends up switching to like the beaters and commenting on how they're not like the typical build for a beater.
Can I say something else that happens in this that I was like, wait, okay. It's a purposeful misdirect. Weasley and here comes Slytherin's first attempt on goal. It's Urquhart. Urquhart streaking down the pitch and Harry's stomach turned over. Weasley saves it. Well, he's bound to get lucky sometimes, I suppose.
Oh, yeah.
That's right, Smith. He is, muttered Harry, grinning to himself. Why would Harry say that to himself when he knows it's not what's... I was like, you only did that to like still convince the reader that like, whatever, it doesn't matter.
It's funny.
That's right, Smith. I did nothing.
So yeah, he's just going on and on about how in the beginning he's going on about how the Weasleys are only on the team because of this, but then because they're playing so well, he can't really keep saying that. And then Ron keeps saving the goals and then starts smiling and eventually even starts conducting a little of Weasley's Our King that they start singing for him.
Yeah, he's getting real cocky.
Yeah, I know. I'm like, Ron, be careful. So then the
Ron,
other Seeker,
you're already
Harper,
on thin ice with me.
I know. We're already mad at you. Yeah, stop it. Be humble. So the other Seeker, Harper, runs into Harry and like is like actually saying what we just said. Not the blood traitor part though. He also he's like, oh, he thinks a lot of himself, doesn't he? And then he's like, your blood traitor friend. And then Smith comments on Harper seeing something that Harry hadn't. And Harry's like, wow, this guy is such an idiot. Only for him to then realize, oh, wait, he has seen something I haven't. Yeah. So then Harry like goes streaking off after Harper. And then somehow Harper's literally about to grab the snitch. But Harry's like, oh, how much did Malfoy pay you to pay today? And that like works. This is like a little stupid. I was like, that was way too easy.
I actually don't like this match. I think they should have lost this match.
Yeah. To teach Harry a lesson.
Yeah. Harry's like not actually playing the game. He's not looking for the snitch. He's so worried about fucking Ron.
Yeah. And whatever Zacharias Smith
and the other
saying.
thing is like, she seems to think that the lesson that Ron gets to learn in this chapter is that it is all just mental for him and that he is actually a good player, which is like fine.
Yeah.
But like maybe in another chapter, maybe not the chapter where he like has a bigger lesson he needs to learn about like his sister, like being a brother and like.
Yeah. And not being a misogynist. Yeah.
I don't know.
Not slut shaming. So somehow that works. Harry's able to catch the snitch and then they win the game. Ginny purposefully runs into the commentator box to like get Zacharias Smith back and then is like to Professor McGonagall. She's like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. Don't know what was going on there. My bad. So Hermione comes into the changing room once everyone has left after the game and I'm sorry. I should add Harry does give Ginny a hug, but lets go of her really fast and doesn't look at her. This shit too, that it's like, okay, so now you know you like her. And so now you're not going to just like be a normal person around her.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? Like that or by that? So yeah, Hermione comes into the changing room once everyone's left and confronts Harry and Ron. Harry's like, again,
well, it a little bit feeds into the idea that like men can't control their urges.
Yes.
Like if you just hugged her like a regular person, you'd what next are like what
I only see her for like what I want to do with her, like what I could do if we were together, and I can't let myself even think of that. Can't get close to her. So Hermione's like, I know what you did. I know that you put Felix Felicis in his drink. And that's why everything went right. And then Harry's like, I didn't put it in. And he like pulls out the little bottle with the seal still fully sealed, fully corked. Corked. Oh God.
It has to be corked because he will need it later. He cannot have used it now.
You know, I was thinking at first I forgot this bit with Ron, and I was like,
I did too, and I was like, does he use like just a couple drops? I was like, how does this work?
Yeah. So then Harry's like, I didn't put it in. I have the bottle here. I just did it so you like I could prove to you that you just need the confidence. Like you just need to believe in yourself. Yeah. You weren't lucky. It's a mental thing.
But Ron was like, but the weather was so good. And it's like,
yeah.
Okay, the weather was going to be good even if I had given you the Felix Felicis. What are we talking about?
It's the bare minimum in the UK over here, girl.
Felix Felicis doesn't change the weather, dear darling dear.
How did my headphone popped out? Yeah, it literally did. It was like, the all we want over here in the UK, all it takes is the sun coming out, and everyone's like, "Oh my God, it's a miracle!"
Holy hell.
What is happening? So then after Harry says this and reveals this, Ron immediately turns on Hermione and is like, see, I don't need a special potion to help me play well. And Harry's like...
He insinuates that that's what Hermione was saying, that the only reason he did well was because of Felix Felicis. And even though he had just... insinuated that earlier.
Which is what Hermione says. Hermione's like, you also thought it was because you took the potion, which she's 1,000% right. He literally was just sitting there saying like, oh, well. And so then he like storms off. Harry's very taken aback by this, obviously, because he did not think this was going to happen. And then he's like, up
because of this.
Yeah, he thought like Ron was instantly going to be okay with everything again and it was going to fix everything. So Harry's like, do you want to go back up to the common room with me? And she's like, no, you go. I'm sick of Ron. And she's like crying. Harry, why don't maybe ask her if she wants a little bit of company instead of just this is what I'm saying. Like, it's just like, okay, bye. I know you're upset, but I'm just going to leave. Although, you know what? I take that back because he does check on her later in this chapter. So he does do it later. So yeah, she's like, I don't know what I've done to deserve this. And then this is where Harry's like, he didn't know how he could explain to her that Ron was mad at her for kissing Victor Crumb 2 years ago. Like that.
Just say.
Maybe just say that.
He's weird.
Just be like,
say, actually,
I know this is dumb.
Don't like Ron anyway.
Yeah.
Because it's not worth it.
Yeah. So he thought that they'd be friends again. So obviously Harry's like disappointed. And yeah, he ends up going back up to the common room. When he comes in, Ginny's like, oh, are you looking for Ron? He's over there being a complete hypocrite. Harry looks over to see Ron and Lavender making out. Ginny says it looks like he's eating her face, but I guess he has to refine his technique somehow, which I thought was
a great line. That's a very good line.
Love you, Ginny. And then...
Genuinely, Ginny is so much better in the books.
Then so much better than...
It's so much
Harry?
better in the books.
Oh, I know. No, I know.
Oh, girl.
Such a
like, I was reading this chapter and I was like, oh, girl.
I know.
Oh, boy.
More personality.
I know.
And it's like sassy. Maybe they'll get it right in the whatever HBO series that comes out. I hope they consider that a bit more.
I think there's a lot of things they could correct. I think there's quite a litany.
They could even change some things, make some things a little bit better. So as Ron is wrapped in this embrace with Lavender, apparently Harry like thinks he sees Hermione like briefly pop in and pop out into the corridor. Yeah. And so he's like, oh, she must have seen Ron and Lavender and like left. So he finds her in like the first empty classroom he looks for. She's summoned these little like yellow birds that are circling above her head, which is really cute that she was like sad and was like,
I hated it.
Oh,
I hated it because that is so often in cartoons the image that they use when someone's crazy or like
okay.
like dizzy, that I was like, I don't like. I don't think that's what she was like trying to insinuate, but I was like annoyed.
Well, maybe though, because I just saw it as she summoned like cute birds to like make herself feel better, but that's because like that's what I would do.
I just was
I'm
like, I didn't like
myself onto Hermione.
I would have liked if they were just like floating around the classroom or something. It was that they were like flying around her head. I was like, that's such a specific thing in cartoons.
Right. The image of that. Yeah. I mean, she does kind of describe her in a second. It's like
out of it.
Yeah. So she makes Harry comes in and he's like, well, maybe she didn't see, like maybe it's okay. And then she makes a comment like right away about Ron enjoying the celebrations. And Harry's like,
oh boy.
and then Ron leads Lavender into the same classroom. And they're laughing together. Then Lavender's like, whoops, and leaves giggling because obviously there are people in there. And then Ron doesn't look at Hermione at all and instead is like, oh, Harry, I wondered where you'd gotten to. Then Hermione slides off the desk and her birds are like following her. And she says to Ron, you don't want to leave Lavender waiting. And Ron like kind of looks relieved at first that like nothing worse happened. And then Hermione sets the birds on Ron.
Yeah.
With one last look of vindicated fury, which I do want to say, I'm glad that vindicated was involved, that it's like her anger is valid.
Mm-hmm.
Because I was like, if there was any like hysterical or like any like verbiage like that, I would have been like, I'm coming for blood.
Yeah.
Like she has every reason to be mad about this.
With so shrill fury.
Yeah. Shrill, hysterical fury.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, she's basically finally admitted somewhat of her feelings for Ron by asking him to come to this event with her.
Right.
So the fact that like this has happened after he's won a game and is just like feeling himself, like it's just like, yeah, I don't think that they should have been together then at this point. Like if he wasn't ready to be with only Hermione, then yeah, no. So it's not good. And that's it. That's the end of the chapter.
And it's a little like, the other thing I don't love about it too is that it's like, oh, because Ginny called him out for having not made out with anyone yet, that's why he like just impulsively decides to like go with Lavender on this. And it's a little like, well, if Ginny hadn't made fun of him for it, then maybe he wouldn't have done that. And it's like, I don't think that's really what it's saying, but it's a little like you could read into it in that way. And I'm like,
yeah,
I don't even care that he makes out with, like, him making out with Lavender Brown means literally nothing to me. It doesn't bother me.
Yeah.
I don't care about that specifically because I think it's fine to make out with people when you're a teenager because that's when you get to make out with people.
Yeah.
As long as you don't get mono.
Yeah, as long as you don't get mono. It's just the fact of the whole, like, how he was all mad that Hermione and Victor made out and he hasn't made out with anyone, even though he was trying to play it off like he did by saying, like, just because I don't do it in public, but we all know he hasn't kissed anyone. Yeah. So it was just like one of those things of like.
Moaning Myrtle.
Is that who you kissed?
Yeah. Is that who you're making out with, girl?
Ow. Yeah. But yeah, it's just like that whole of like kind of being like, well, she made out with, which I think he says this literally in the next chapter, Adam, where it's like, oh, well, she made out with Crumbs, so she has no right to say anything about me. I'm like, that's a very different situation where neither of you had confessed your feelings for each other.
You made fun of her for getting dressed up to go to the fucking Yule Ball.
Yeah.
Ron sucks.
Yeah, he's not.
I don't think I like anybody in this book series.
Yeah, I know. I like Ginny.
Ginny's great.
Except
I don't like Ginny making fun of Fleur either. So I don't know.
No, but see, that's what I mean, where I'm like, that makes me think of like Joe rather than.
Yeah.
You know? But yeah, I mean, she does it too with Fleur, so. No one is safe.
Well, that
No
wraps
one
up
is
this
safe.
chapter. Next week, we'll be reading chapter 15 called The Unbreakable Vow. Yes. We have a comment from our chapter 12 Silver and Opals episode from Tori Love 8869. This is the same Tori who I had said I was like watching her comment in real time.
She's caught up.
She's caught up.
Welcome, Tori.
Tori says, love the podcast. Finally, all caught up. First question, are you guys planning to go back and do books 1 through 3? Because I only see 4 to 6. So Tori, they're just not on YouTube. But if you look up on like Spotify or Apple Podcasts, you can find just the podcast episodes from those first 3 books. They're just not on YouTube because that wasn't how we released them.
Yeah, we weren't doing the full video versions, were we?
No, I had to do all my, facial reconstruction surgery before
that was why we weren't doing it. Yeah.
And you guys should totally take the Pottermore quiz just for fun to test out your knowledge of the books/movies. She's calling us out for saying we don't know enough. And I wish we had more.
I did the Pottermore a long time ago.
I wish we had more of Neville's parents pre-torture to see them both working together to take on Voldemort and the Death Eaters, and to be able to see how they thrice bested him is so interesting to me. I have thought a lot about this of like, of like, if I was to get a spin-off series, who I think would be interesting. And I know the Marauders is brought up a lot.
The big one. Yeah.
But I think the Longbottoms are actually more interesting because A, it's an adult story. I don't really want to go back to high school at Hogwarts with the Marauders.
Yeah.
I don't want I don't want to deal with young Snape, which is like what it would half be. I don't want to deal with James. He seems like an asshole.
Yeah.
So, but I think like Frank and Alice. I think those would be very interesting to see. Like they're the beginning part of the. And I kind of like Gran as a character, even just the like little references we hear of Gran. So it would be interesting to like meet her.
Oh, yeah, I know. Yeah.
Character.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know that one scene we got of her at St. Mungo's. I needed more of her. Mm-hmm. Yeah. She's great.
Yep. So thank you, Tori. But yeah, books 1 through 3, Apple Podcasts or on Spotify. There's just no videos, but it's a podcast. So.
It's a podcast.
It's a podcast. Great. You can find the podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you find your podcasts, as well as video versions of the Ampliverse YouTube channel and on Spotify. I guess I should change that copy because it makes it seem like there's video versions. Anyway, it doesn't matter. As always, don't forget to
aren't there video versions on Spotify though?
Yes, on Spotify, but not of the episodes from the whole.
Oh, from before. Okay, yeah, sure.
As always, don't forget to rate, review, and subscribe so we can get a perfect Newt score, 5 stars only, or else you'll have to deal with slut shaming.
Fuck him, Ron.
Yeah. Don't forget to follow us on Instagram at HP Anxious or YouTube and TikTok at The Ampliverse. We are hosted on Spotify for podcasters, so thank you to them. And we are a proud member of The Ampliverse. Please check them out at theampliverse.com. Thank you, Ariana.
Thank you, Adam.
Oh, and as always, wait, I have to find the spell where she sets the birds on Ron.
Oh yeah, what is it?
It's the last spell in the chapter. Except she does. I did want to say she does shriek the spell from the doorway.
Oh, God, shriek, not a shriek.
She shrieked. Ah! And as always, Opugno.
Oh yeah, Opugno. Opugno.
She shrieked.